Today, Nigeria continues to face one of its toughest security challenges in the Northwest. And right now, we are seeing heated conversations, big disagreements, and strong opinions around what should be done about banditry, terrorism, and peace negotiations. Before I go deeper into the details, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any updates like these. I will break this down for you in simple, clear English, so everyone, young, old, educated, and not educated, can follow what is happening. So let's talk about the headline that is trending. People are saying that bandits have rejected an amnesty deal even after a governor allegedly offered 50 million naira per person. Now, when we look at the verified picture on the ground, well, we need to be clear that official sources have not confirmed that exact figure being offered as amnesty money. However, the debate about amnesty and peace deals with bandits is very real, and it is happening right now across northwest Nigeria. First, understand something. The term bandits in Nigeria refers to heavily armed criminal groups operating mainly in the northwest, including Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, Sokoto, Niger, and Kebbi states. These groups have been responsible for kidnappings, mass abductions, killings, rustling of livestock, burning of villages, and terrorizing entire communities for many years. The state of insecurity means farmers cannot go to their farms without fear, markets shut down, parents hide their children, and whole towns live in fear. That is the reality Nigerians are facing today. Now, for years, there has been a big argument about how best to stop this violence. Should there be amnesty and dialogue, or should there be forceful military action without negotiation? Some people, including politicians, clerics, community leaders, and even some governors, have at times supported the idea of offering amnesty or incentives to those willing to lay down their arms and stop criminal activity. The thinking behind this is to encourage fighters to stop violence and reintegrate into society. But there are others who strongly reject the idea of negotiating with criminals or terrorists. They insist that doing so rewards violent behavior, emboldens criminals, and undermines the rule of law. They also point out that past peace deals have often failed to produce lasting peace. Many bandit groups have reportedly returned to violence months after signing peace agreements, leaving communities in the same situation as before. In fact, earlier this month, a well-known political figure in Nigeria, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, explicitly criticized government negotiations with bandits. He said that peace deals tend to favor the bandits more than their victims, and that often the criminals do not keep the terms they agree to. That is a powerful statement coming from a former national leader, and it shows how serious the debate has become. Right now, in Zamfara, the current governor, Governor Dauda Lawal, has publicly taken a firm position. He has warned that dialogue without clear conditions, including disarmament and legal accountability, is basically surrender, and he opposes any peace deal that lets criminals keep their weapons or go free without justice. This has been backed by human rights groups who argue that negotiating with terrorists undermines national security and law enforcement. Let's pause and make sure we understand that clearly. There are strong voices saying no amnesty without conditions, and that criminals must be held accountable for their actions. This includes people who have lost family members, homes, farms, and children to bandit attacks. So from their perspective, offering cash or rewards for laying down arms is not only unjust, it could send the wrong message to people committing violence. At the same time, others still argue that some tactical peace talks have delivered temporary relief on the ground. In some communities, negotiations led to the release of kidnapped people and even allowed farmers to return to their fields for a period of time. These outcomes are often short-term, but they feed into the narrative that talks can have some benefits. So when you see a headline saying bandits have rejected an amnesty offer, even one as large as 50 million naira, what that reflects is something deeper. Bandit groups are not monolithic. There is no single leader or unified organization. There are many factions, each with its own leaders, demands, and strategies. And because of this,
Even if a governor proposes a peace deal, it does not automatically mean all factions will accept it. Some may be suspicious of government promises. Some may prefer their criminal profits to peace.
And others may simply not trust that laying down arms will protect them from arrest or retaliation in the future. This mistrust is rooted in history. In other parts of Nigeria, not just the Northwest, there have been cases where armed groups laid down weapons based on government promises, only to find themselves prosecuted or attacked later. That legacy creates hesitation and fear among fighters considering peace. And remember, violence in Northwest Nigeria is not just a security problem. It is also a humanitarian crisis. Thousands of people have been displaced from their homes. Children have been kidnapped, and entire communities live with the trauma of loss and fear. This is why public emotions run so high when amnesty and peace deals are discussed on social media and in the press. Now,
let's talk directly to what your audience will be thinking. Why would bandits reject an amnesty offer or peace proposal? Well, as I explained, it could be mistrust, fear of betrayal, or the fact that some bandits benefit financially from continuing criminal activities such as ransom demands and control of illegal trade routes. Many Nigerians feel that rewarding people who terrorize communities with money or incentives is unacceptable, and that the focus should be on security reform, better intelligence arrests, and legal prosecution. And that brings us to the broader national debate. Some leaders warn that negotiating with bandits at the state level could undermine federal counterterrorism laws. They argue that governors giving amnesty deals or peace payments could conflict with national security policies and even weaken the authority of Nigeria's overall security apparatus. This is a crucial point. In Nigeria, terrorism and banditry are federal concerns, and while governors can support peace building and community development, they do not have the legal authority to grant amnesty to groups classified as terrorists under national law. This contradiction fuels the controversy you are now hearing on social media and online news outlets. So your audience needs to understand this. The simple story of bandits rejecting 50 million naira is just the surface clickbait version of a very deep and complex conflict that touches on security, justice, politics, trust, and the future of vulnerable communities in Nigeria. Before I continue, remember to like this video and subscribe if you are finding this explanation helpful. I will keep bringing you updates like this in clear English you can follow easily. Now, let me tell you something many people don't talk about. When communities are left without support from government security forces, they sometimes make their own local peace arrangements. In some parts of Zamfara and neighboring states, village leaders have negotiated directly with bandit factions to try to protect their people. These arrangements often involve payments, labor exchanges, or other conditions the community and bandits agree to. But these deals are risky. They may buy temporary calm, but they also risk legitimizing criminal control in the long run. That is why independent analysts and human rights groups say that sustainable peace cannot be achieved solely through negotiations without accompanying development, jobs, education, security reform, and economic opportunity. They argue that banditry thrives where young people are unemployed and communities are marginalized. So when we talk about amnesty, we must also talk about rehabilitation, reintegration, community development, education for former fighters, and long-term economic empowerment. That is the long-term conversation many Nigerians want to have. And just as we are wrapping up this explanation, let me remind you again, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because discussions like this matter. This is not just news. This is about the safety and future of millions of Nigerians. Now tell me, do you want me to continue with part 2 of this analysis right now, where we break down the possible outcomes, what the federal government could do next, and how this affects the upcoming elections and national security strategies? Just say, yes, continue, and I will take you deeper.